How many lists do you think you're on? I've asked this question before, but it's always relevant. It's always pertinent. I just came back from a store where I have a friend that we often talk about a lot of the things we talk about here. She's really going through this kind of cryptid thing right now, where she's like really getting into cryptids. It's your classic horizontal pursuit. You know what I mean? Just it's not gonna move you up the ladder or up the elevator. It could get you stuck running around the circle on the same floor. Like politics. I just talk about politics, like how stupid it is that people are gonna vote people out. That's also a horizontal pursuit, because truth and power are two things that both move vertically. The top having the most power, or the top being the most true. You want to be on the truth ladder, or the truth stairway, going up all the time. And if you get off on a floor in the guise of cryptids, or maybe what NASA's really up to, or what's going on at the Vatican, that becomes a horizontal pursuit, where you're just getting off of the floor, and you're kind of you're not rising in level. You're just going around in the same area. Like in the political sense, like political like power or control power. I'm just trying to get away from people. I know it seems weird, but here, like, no one really gives a shit about personal space. And it's not like they walk right behind you. They walk uncomfortably behind you. I think the thinking is that maybe, I'll move or something. I don't know. It's like, all right, fuck that. I gotta focus here. So power, like political power, is also at the very top. So to gain power in a system, you want to go straight up. But having a left and right paradigm, which, it's literally called left and right. That's what they refer to it as. You're just on a floor, horizontally. You're off the elevator of power, and you're playing idiot ping pong. My team, no, my team, no, my team. Nobody's moving up. So it's the same way with truth and how people can get stuck in these horizontal producers. So anyway, fucking Shaggy Dog, she's been in the cryptids. We were talking about the lizard people, all the greatest hits, And I wanted to see her today, and she said some government people were in there. Division of Logistics. And they came to the store, and they came into her line. And I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting for her to say, like, well, they did something, said something. She's like, no, that was it. They came in, and they came to my line. It just kind of freaked me out. And I'm like, yeah, it'd freak me out too. And she started asking me, like, do you think because of these, I watch this stuff, or I talk about this stuff, and I didn't want to say, yes, that will 100% be on your record, but I don't think that's the reason to pay someone to visit. A lot of people watch that shit. It's, talking about it, like I do, it's a little smaller niche thing there, but some of these channels that do cryptid stuff are very popular, and all kinds of people watch them. So I was trying to tell her, no, I don't think they'd come to visit you for that. It is weird. And then she started telling me something else that I gotta hear the rest of, because I don't know what any of it means, but something in her past that her dealing with them that she thought might have something to do with it, or another agency. I don't know, whatever. That's a different story. But yeah, that stuff is all collected. They have everything on everybody. They have the room. See, here's the deal. You are super, super important to them. Like, you are the most important thing in their world. It doesn't matter who you are. Whoever's hearing the sound of my voice here, you are the most important thing. They spend all their time trying to figure out ways to keep you occupied and to keep their eye on you. It's like you're in like a small animal in a terrarium or something. Isn't they call them terrariums? Whatever. A cage or a glass box, right? And there's a hole in it. But it's behind them, or it's off to the side of them. You're not looking at it, you're looking at them. And what they're trying to do constantly is jump up and down, waving their hands like, hey, look over here. Hey, look over here. That's their job 24/7, 7 days a week. 24/7, 52, 365, you know, whatever number that ends up on. They're doing it all the time. That's all they do. You know, they have to keep your attention. They have to fill your life with so much shit, so much information, so many things to do. So many, you know, they got to hold your attention. The people they're afraid of the most is people with time on their hands and people that aren't accountable. Like, we don't know where this person works. We don't know who they associate with. Not knowing about what you're doing is of utmost importance, you know. Now, simultaneously, we're told by society and the system and everything that you are insignificant. That's what you're always told. Like, oh, you're meaningless. You're just a drop in the rain. You know, your life is what you make out of it, because you're going to be dead, and you're just one of billions and billions of people in this rock, going billions and billions of miles through space, spinning billions. It's funny that it's always billions and billions, like with these guys. I mentioned this before. It's like a child when they're describing something. Like, oh, this guy came to my school today. He was 20 feet tall. And you're like, oh, really, buddy? Yeah, he's 20 feet tall, and his arms were like cars. That's what they sound like these fucking Carl Sagan people. The space is billions and billions and billions. It's like, is it billions and billions and billions? How, you know, it's a child. It's like a child explaining something. It's always that. It can't be hundreds. It can't be thousands. It has to be so out of the scope of your understanding that you don't even bother looking into it. Well, that's their hope anyway. At the very least, if it's a more important thing or a more important subject or whatever, they want you to think, well, that sounds like really hard stuff to me, but I'm sure someone somewhere knows how that works. and that's not true. It's not true. There isn't. It's just a ruse to keep you from thinking about certain things. You can always tell what they don't want you to think of. And it's always the shit they put behind a ton of red tape, you know. As you know, you want to research something, scientific community, you get your degree. That's a whole nother thing. That piece of paper that puts you closer to Satan and keeps you from being able to look at anything that's important. We'll have you like researching boner pills and hair pills. It's like, I know. I mean, I've had friends in the biotech sector, and that's all they work on, cosmetic type stuff. Because it's all you're allowed to. I mean, that's what you get the money for. That's what the contracts come in for. It's like, no one's really looking at the stuff that you'd think they'd be looking at, like at all. But yeah, I think a lot of us are probably on lists, you know, of some kind. Because you may think like, well, what do I do? I'm just a shit poster. Well, it's not so much what you do they're worried about. They're worried about what you think. They want to have full control. And that's what makes me think about the Gothenburg tunnel in Switzerland with those slave people that were part of that ritual, disguised as a opening ceremony thing. All those opening ceremonies for all that shit, they're all rituals, all of them, every single one. The Olympics. I was thinking about the English Olympics from 2012 the other day. Was it 2012? Where they had a giant Voldemort. I fucking hated that thing. It's creepy as hell. Those are actually all rituals. And what they do is they have a lot of eyes on it, you know, because these things are usually big. A lot of people watch them. So they just, they're literally rituals is what they do. And that one in Switzerland, with the slave people, I had a whole thing I was going to do on that because I was trying to, well, no, I didn't, well, not trying to, I did. I'm tying it together with the whole jibber jabber thing, but I'm not quite ready to put all the, I have those ducks in a holding pen, but I have not put them in a row, but I'm going to. But yeah, they want to control your mind. You know, they want to control your mind. So they're trying to collect as much information on you as they can. So yeah, who knows what kind of list you're on. It's probably, what it is I don't think a lot of times they'll do you individually. I mean, they do. But the first thing, a thing they would do is they would look at your online presence, what you read, what you see, what you might watch on YouTube. And they kind of add that all together to kind of give you a score based on, you know, whatever they think, like a danger score or whatever, a wrong think score. You know, there's absolutely that going on. And I think for a lot of us, it's just too late to try to, you know, it's beyond people. It's not, I mean, it would get to people where they sit there, and if you get to a certain level or you meet a certain number or a certain criteria, then, you know, we get to people. But I think they kind of just do blind searches with keywords. And then you probably have some kind of thing like a credit score. You know, that, oh, they talked to this guy, oh, they looked at that thing. And this is all done not by humans. It's done by some kind of algorithm that goes through and pieces this all together and then gives them the people based on whatever the information trawler, you know, picked up, and by what you do, by your online presence. But when most of the warfare of this century is online, it's intelligence. It's not even really what would be considered intelligence. It's more like I don't know what the fuck it is, but it happens. You know, memes have a lot of weight with them. I mean, they can turn around a public perception on an idea like super fast. That's a legitimate, powerful weapon when minds and the control of minds is your ultimate goal. When you can have they don't want you to have your own discernment. They don't want you to be able to think or choose who you want to associate with, who you don't want to associate with. They want to take everything like that away from you. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I don't have time to go over them here because I'm home. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.